Hello everybody, this will be a collective tarot reading for Virgo season. Now, if you already are clicking upon this and if you ask yourself if you feel drawn to the messages I'm about to relay, and if you say no, if you think, no, I'm not feeling intuitively drawn, that's okay. This just isn't the collective reading for you. I have plenty of timeless pick a card readings on my channel and also collective readings as well if you still feel drawn to other ones. Yeah, or you can wait until after I pull the cards and see if you feel drawn to the energies and the messages I'm about to relay. So we will, please Spirit, Virgo 2025. We will see what comes through. I feel like this one already wants to come out. Oh. I'm gonna wait though. It might not be what you think it is. This top one wants to come out. So I'll wait to show you the cards though, except for that first one, until after I've pulled all of them. I have some oracle cards over here as well. Here's what they are. Okay. And I'm just using the traditional Rider-Waite deck. I have them in this little baggie. They used to be wrapped in a scarf, but the scarf became so like, what is it, ratted and tatted or whatever throughout time that I needed to retire it because like it had so many holes in it, it wasn't even covering anymore. Let's see that one. Okay. We have 4 down. We have 2 left. One of these. Gonna keep shuffling. Sorry you cannot see me. I'm thinking in the future I might just have my face not even in it again, like how I do my other readings. Oh, interesting. One more. Just so that you can see me shuffling the cards and everything, but some people prefer maybe this way. Let me know which way you prefer. Okay, we are going to start with the tarot cards. Is there another one that wants to come out? There's another card, I haven't looked at it yet. I'm gonna put this aside. This might be relevant for like advice for the future is what I'm hearing. Ooh, this one wants to come out too. That's just extra information maybe. I shuffle a couple more times. See if anything else wants to pop out. For like future. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Wait a minute now. More have been wanting to pop out than originally intended. This one flew out too, so should I put this one down? I feel like it's, should I put this one down? Okay, I'm gonna put this one over here. Okay, any more that would like to come out? I feel like this one wants to come out. Okay. Sorry. They are just really flying out. Usually with this deck, it takes a while for things to fly out. That's not happening here. Okay, so these are the main cards I will start with. And you can see if you feel drawn to these cards, okay? If you really don't feel like these messages will be for you. then now is the time to click off. Or you can still listen, and then if you think that it resonates with you and you want to take the messages, you certainly can, but we will just get right into it. So, first we have Two of Cups upright, as you already saw. Then we have Page of Swords in reverse, the Star in reverse, the Tower in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse, and the Death card. So that's why I'm like, see, I showed you all this, but I'm like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I feel like Virgo season usually isn't a time for like romance necessarily. At least, I don't know, I wasn't getting the sense that it had to do with romance, but I know that people associate this with romance. So the way that this comes across, oh, and thankfully I'm not like a monetized channel, so I can show this. Or else in the future, if I ever become monetized, I'll have to remember to hide that part. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, it just feels like with the Tower here, I mean, death is there as well, but it feels like, ooh, awakening, reawakening. You know what the energy reads? It's like you had an awakening maybe a couple of years back. You were awoken to something. It could be a spiritual awakening. It could be just like a personal growth awakening, like finally realizing who you are or where you'd like to be in the future, who you want to be in the future. But then it feels like maybe along the way you've lost yourself. And so this Virgo season, it's all about reconnecting with who you recently found out you are, or reconnecting with any recent revelation that you've had about who you are or your life purpose. It feels like, yeah, with the Star being reversed, you've lost your own spark in a way, where it's like you I just keep hearing, now I'm hearing Lose Yourself by Eminem. So it seems like you've really been disconnected from your own personality and who you are. And because of this, you might actually realize that your relationships have been impacted by this shift in your personality. Like, it could be because you resorted back to like old ways, bad habits, or old people. But you know, actually, the energy this gives me, though, is that it seems like there's one person in your life. Think of this one person in your life who is really there for you and is like your cheerleader, or somebody who you can feel comforted by. There's one main person. If you think right now, whether they're blood related, whether it's friends, whether it's even a coworker or a boss, it could be literally anybody. Think of the person in life you trust the most with your life, is the way this is coming across. Think of them. They will help you get out of this rut. And also, I feel like they will very gently guide you in the right direction. If you ask for feedback, I think right now, like, you could be emotionally raw in many ways. If people bring up issues from your past, or if you bring it up, like, hey, I'm engaging in these bad behaviors again, or I'm friends with these certain people again. What are your thoughts on this? Or what are your thoughts on how I can proceed? You know, whatever it is, it feels like this rut that you're in, this like maybe, yeah, this dark period you've maybe been in for a bit. There's somebody in your life who's already in your life who is there for you and who wants to help you, but I feel like if you don't go to them first, they won't know how to best help you. Maybe it's also because you've been to them in the past, or I mean, they've been to you in the past, gone up to you and been like, hey, I don't like this whole situation that's going on, and then maybe you like implode, right? The Tower. So I feel like you're in a very raw state in terms of trying to resolve certain issues in your life, especially as it relates to like personal health and well-being, like bad habits as it relates to that. It could, and that includes, again, like if you are engaging in negative or toxic relationship patterns with other people, or you still have people in your life maybe who are not good for you. Just think of anything that's bringing down your energy levels. And I'm not talking about like being high or low energy in terms of like you being sleepy or like energized, the opposite of sleepy. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your energy tied to your personhood. Does that make sense? your own personal, like, what is your energy attached to? Look at what, there we go. Look at what your energy is attached to. I see a lot of cords being connected to things that they shouldn't be. And it's like, this person will help you to like snip, 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 cut them. There's one person who you can trust, even if it's a therapist, right? Think of somebody who you trust the most to help you snip away these connections that you have to things that do not serve you. And it really does feel karmic in a way, or at least if not past life, then this life more so, actually. Like things from this lifetime in the past that you've done, things that have been a part of your life that you've gotten rid of, you've stopped doing certain things, but then it's like you're starting to engage again. It reminds me of people who have addiction issues and then they eventually become California sober, but then that's not healthy for them, they realize, and then they just have to like fully quit again. It very much gives those vibes. So think of the ways also in which you still engage in bad habits. Maybe you never really stopped engaging in bad habits, but you're just thinking about how... Sorry, I got distracted by some of the cards here. They're pulling my energy. What was I saying? Whoa. See, I also feel like a lot of you don't even realize how much drainage is happening. Or it's not even that you don't realize. Actually, let me say this. It's that, like, whenever feelings or thoughts come up, it's already been 11 minutes, oh my god. Whenever thoughts or feelings come up, it feels like you suppress them. So this person, whoever it is, will help you bring things to light that you should think about more in depth, and then think about what you should remove from your life. Okay, there's a really important person here who wants to help you. They come across as a very gentle soul, or at least with you, they're very gentle, they're very understanding, and they're accepting of who you are, but they just want the best for you. Oh, I could cry. This person, like, it's the energy of like they love you more than you love yourself, and they wish that you could see through their eyes your potential and how you can, and they just want to like take the hurt and the pain away from you. Oh my god, this is making me emotional. Okay, and then other cards here. I think I showed you, right? Yeah, okay, I'll show you the Page of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse. So I don't want to say that you've been lazy, but it seems like you've been making excuses about certain things. So now's the time to, if not cord cutting, then slashing away with these swords. They're in reverse, you want to put them upright, okay? You've been putting off certain things that you know you need to tackle. And with the Star in reverse, it's like, the Star is all about health and well-being as well. So it shows, also we have the Tower here. With the Star being in reverse here, these things are impacting your well-being, which is why I'm talking about like health and wellness. It feels like it could be like whether it's bad eating habits, whether it's like addictive patterns as it relates to maybe drugs or alcohol. I can't, again, all alleged for entertainment purposes only, all of this is. It could be just your mental health as well, like, and it's draining your energy, but not as much as, it could be that you're feeling fatigued, but it's more than just that. It's at a soul level. It's like it's draining your personhood. You're being further removed as time goes on from who you actually are, who you have realized recently, like within the past like few years, who you are. You're being further removed from that. You're being further removed from this awakening that you've had by engaging in certain bad habits, by talking to certain people. So Spirit is saying it's time to break down those patterns. The Tower's here, so, and the Death card is here too. Okay, so things, it's still there. Anyway, so I go like this, and then like, because of my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I don't have to explain, like it's fine. Y'all don't care. But I'll go like this, and then sometimes it just makes it like raw, so that's what that's from. Anyway, I just noticed that. And it feels like a lot of things you're doing these bad habits to distract you from life. Life has been difficult. Life is hard. But Spirit is saying you'll have to go through another evolution, another change process. And this will, almost during this Virgo season, things will happen outside of your control. That's a big message I was getting to, is that a lot of things will also happen outside of your control anyway. Like, I don't want to say as consequences of your own action, but just it'll be like a breaking point for you, or even other people, but I mainly get the sense it's for you. you'll have a breaking point and be like, I need to stop, whatever the reason is. Like, let's say you smoke or you vape, and then you're like, it's interfering with my sleep or like my work, right? It's like, there will become a breaking point, and maybe you get a warning at work, like, hey, stop doing this. Even though, can bosses even say that kind of stuff? I don't know. But it's like, hey, like, if you work at a restaurant, it's like, hey, you smoke, and like the smoke comes in here and the people don't like it. I'm not judging you if you smoke, by the way, but I'm just saying, like, this is an example. And then your boss is like, hey, stop smoking. People aren't wanting to eat here anymore. I don't know. But it seems like there will be a breaking point. And it will be an important breaking point. So it will make you realize it's almost like do or die. But it's not like serious like that. But it's like, you'll realize, what have I been doing? There's like this fog. And you'll need help clearing it. This other person will help you. So there's this fog. And you'll need to enact these changes, and it will be very difficult. We have these two cards here. These changes will be very, and there's this stubborn energy as well. It's really hard to, swords, for me, it's quick energy, especially these two, the page and the ace. So there will be a breaking point at some point during this Virgo season. And then maybe you're like midway through, if I had to have a guess, but it could be at any point in time. And then as time goes on towards the end, it will be harder and harder. But you have to remind yourself that bad habits are hard to break. Lifestyle changes, it's hard. Like, it takes, what is it? How long is it? Like, it takes 6 weeks for a good habit to form or a lifestyle change to fully set in. So there will be a make it or break it moment. You'll be like, I need to enact change right now. It will be also with the swords energy being in reverse. It's like these things, I mean, Tower here as well. Things will happen suddenly. Some of it out of your control. But it does feel like there is enough of control here that you can have. Where it's like, there are changes you can make to make it easier. That doesn't mean it will be easy, but it will make it easier or less stressful for you to enact these changes. And as we go into Virgo season as well, it's like the last part, it's like harvest season. It's right before the end of summer. So it feels like Spirit is saying, also tying up loose ends before you before you embark on whatever new journey you want to go on. It's like, before we do any of that, the newness needs to come from, you could say it's healing, but it's more than that. It's like full transformation, and that comes from breaking off certain people from your life, certain things. Here's now, I don't even know if I'll be able to get to the oracle cards because I've already taken too long. Here are the cards here for okay, here are the cards for outcome. So we have the Nine of Swords upright, King of Wands upright, Eight of Swords in reverse. I'm glad we pulled this. And then the Ten of Pentacles upright. So this could, for me, this could be about family ties, like family members helping you out. But this is either way just about community wanting to help you. There's people who are willing to and wanting to help you during this time. It can be difficult to ask for help, but Spirit is saying with this King of Wands here, you have to be the one to ultimately enact change. Like, there will be changes happening outside of your control anyway, but it's not just about changes that happen outside of your control. It's about the changes you also do working alongside things happening outside of your control. It's about basically what you do with what is happening in your life moving forward. It's what you do with the things that are outside of your control. How you react to the actions that are happening. Okay? It's about how you react, how you continue to transform and rewire your brain in that way. So Spirit is saying it's ultimately up to you, because changes can happen. You can still be like, well, I'm just gonna keep worrying. This is all about, like, it can be about victim mentality. So I think a lot of you could be like, I'm sorry if this comes across in a negative way, okay? But like, woe is me. Like, with the Nine of Swords here too, you'll just keep worrying. And Spirit is like, in the future, things will be difficult, and you run the risk of running through the same cycle and using these crutches and being like, I'm not deserving or worthy, or I don't have the power. That's a big thing. You don't think you have the ability or the power to, there's a lot of swords energy here. You don't believe you have the power to break these cycles, especially if you see actually with there could be family connections to addictive tendencies, for the certain addictions you have, if you realize they are traced through family lineage or cultural lineage as well, like something that's culturally acceptable or common, you'll realize maybe the connections that will help you as well. If people can help you realize the connecting pieces of how it relates to your childhood, also like family ties. But I just get a sense that you should reach out to people and not be afraid to ask for help, or else you do run the risk of continuing the cycle. That's what's showing up for the future after this Virgo season. Also, what this indicates to me is that you run the risk of falling into these habits again, but when you do that, it's about, again, how you react. If you come from a place of I recommended journaling in the last collective reading. That will be helpful for you, I think, and talking out loud to yourself. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought, which has been happening for this reading. It didn't happen for the last reading, collective reading that I did, but yeah, I just get I get so much brain fog with you all. And it's like a self-protective thing. That's why you keep falling into these cycles. So just don't be afraid to reach out to people and really do the inner work. But Spirit is saying that, what I was saying, I think, is that you run the risk of falling into bad habits again, or reaching out to certain people again, or having certain connections that mimic other relationship patterns or other addictive tendencies that you've had in the past. And Spirit is saying, if these things happen, it's about how you react. If these things happen, this is why it's good to have self-soothing gestures and self-soothing and grounding methods to help you, so that if you start falling back into these patterns, you're able to ground yourself and recognize before it gets to be worse and worse. Do you get what I'm saying? These are other two cards I wanted to come out, just for like in general, to add on to the other, like after I mentioned the future part. We have here literally all the swords energy, the 9 of swords to the 10 of swords. So this is about grieving who you once were. This is about grieving. Also with death here, it could indicate that you've been impacted by the loss of a loved one, or you've had a near-death experience. So, and I'm really sorry if that's the case. But Spirit is saying, whatever it is, you need to grieve this person, or you need to grieve the loss of who you once were. And here's the thing too, we can grow and become better people. This is something I've had to deal with, where who I used to be when I was much younger, even like a few years ago, I don't like that person as much as I like who I am now, right? I like who I'm becoming more and more as time goes on, but then there's also like a grieving process that needs to be done with that. Even if you like who you are now more than you were before, even if you have more knowledge than you did before, Spirit is saying that what you need to do is still grieve that person who you once were, and also not hold shame. Something you need to release is shame about who you used to be, or shame about anything you have troubles or struggles with warding off, these bad habits, these bad people. Spirit is saying that in order to stop repeating the cycle, we need to fully allow these things. It's like the swords I'm hearing, allow these past memories to sink in, allow these realizations to sink in, but don't let them dictate your future in terms of repeating those cycles. Let them almost in a way dictate your future by you working through those issues. It's like each sword is an issue, and you're able to remove each sword and tackle things one at a time too. Things don't, even though a lot will happen outside your control, do things piece by piece. Celebrate the small wins. And the Magician here is saying that you really do truly have the power. You have the power and the ability. Magician is also about resources. So if you didn't have access to resources before, who you used to be, like the bad habits you do engage in or used to engage in, if you didn't have access to certain resources or people in your life back then, Spirit is saying you do now. You do now, and if you don't right now, you will soon. Or like it's just a simple Google search. You'll be able to find people that you can connect with. Okay, Spirit is saying that there are people who want to help you, but you also have to ultimately help yourself, even though it will be very difficult to pull yourself out of this funk that you're in. Okay, I had 2 card decks over here. I'm just gonna pull from the Eternal Oracles deck though. So, Spirit, any final messages? Blue calcite, 6, communication. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. I feel like, do one of these want to come out too? Is it all the top 3 cards want to come out? I feel like they do. Okay. 10, Rider-Waite, travel. I've never pulled this card, I don't think. Root and crown chakras. And then ruby. This is on the bottom of the deck. I had a feeling it would pop out. 35, ruby, passion, root, and sacral chakras. Should I read in the deck? I feel like reading in the deck maybe for number 10. Let me see real quick. So Rider-Waite is associated with the root and crown chakras. It helps you to adapt, ground yourself, and to feel comfortable in all different situations and environments. It is known as a crystal for travelers. It helps with jet lag and also helps travelers to go with the flow. And it's about opening your perspectives and like opening yourself to new ideas, new concepts. I'm really glad it talked I want to open it up again because it was talking about it helps you to feel ground yourself and help you feel comfortable in all situations. So you're somebody who maybe when you with changes with the Tower and the Death card, maybe with changes that happen, you're really bad at dealing with changes, and that's what like makes you rely on these crutches, these bad things from your past. That's what makes you start engaging in bad habits again, talking to certain people again, right? So Spirit is saying that you need to be able to you need to learn and utilize self-soothing gestures and activities. You need to be able to do things that will help you to ground and center yourself so that when you enter new situations, you don't feel so overwhelmed or you don't feel like unsafe. Because that's why people also fall back into bad patterns. It's like, even if it's not good for you, it's something that also makes you feel safe because it's something you're used to or comfortable with. So Spirit is saying that you need to ground yourself, okay? Also with travel, I feel like I should say there's a lot of, and with those changes indicated, it feels like with travel, it could indicate actual travel, but it feels like a lot of changes are coming your way. So that's why it's like, okay, these new things are happening, and if you're maybe going to engage in new experiences, find things that can help you remain present and not worried, and also help keep you grounded enough to not have to fall back onto bad patterns. And I love that the blue lace agate communication throat chakra card showed up, because I feel like you need to talk with this person. There's somebody at least in your community and your friend group who is willing to help you and wants to help you, but communication also starts with you and you having a talk with yourself about where you're at and like being honest and real with yourself, like, hey, without holding shame, but being like, this is where I'm at, this is how I can improve and do better, instead of being stuck here and then just keeping this mentality of, oh, things can't get better. You have to have talks. This is also about talking more kindly to yourself. But yeah, so with yourself, but also with community. People in the community want to help you. And then 35, ruby, passion. This to me can indicate that I think you could be a very highly emotional person more than you realize. That doesn't mean you're like a big crier, but it means that you maybe, I think, absorb people's energies, your environment's energies, animals' energies. I just think you get affected by your environment a lot, which is why it can be hard to ground yourself in new environments or different environments that you used to. Also, if you're somebody who has like strict routines, that might not be the best, but also there's an energy here that maybe you kind of need to tighten up your routines. It's weird, it's contradicting, so I'm just going to leave that there, but it will resonate if it resonates. Okay, but with this, it indicates to me that something that can be an outlet for you could be creative in nature, but either way, it's something. It doesn't have to be creative. Let me just say, there's something that can help you to stay grounded that is very helpful in nature. Could be creative, it could be something like, I don't know, but with passion, channel your energy into things you're passionate about. If you really love animals, you can volunteer somewhere, and that could be a good outlet for you to release your stress. You could feel like you're doing something good, and that's a good way to engage in community as well. Think about anything that you can engage with other people or with your community, but again, it could be something like painting, drawing, dancing, singing. Don't focus on something you're good at. It doesn't have to be. It could be absolutely anything, and that's actually part of what would be good here, is because if you know you're not the best at something and and you have the mindset of, I'm not trying to be better at this, I'm just trying to have this be an outlet to help me release my anger, my stress, whatever it is, that will, I think, be very helpful in shifting this energy for you, helping you be grounded, and also helping you to have time for yourself, even if you're with other people during this situation. Even if you're engaging with other people, I get a sense that it will feel very much like something for you. In your downtime, make sure you do things that almost re-energize you and keep you with a positive outlook. Some of you, I think a lot of you maybe, have struggles with being optimistic or looking on the bright side and thinking things can get better, right? So Spirit's saying there are outlets for you that you can utilize, whether you're good or bad with them. Focus just on how you can use these things as an outlet. I will leave it at that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Of course, it went longer than I thought it would go, but yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Bye.